protecting our kids as best as we can and also understanding the role that they play in this really historical family.
For years, whispers have echoed through headlines and hidden corners of the internet, insisting that Meghan and Harry did not welcome their children in the way the world was told. Now, Prince William has reportedly taken a step that many believe could finally expose what truly happened. Sources claim a detailed inquiry was initiated to scrutinize the circumstances surrounding Meghan's pregnancies. What investigators allegedly discovered has stunned even seasoned royal observers. Secrets buried for years are said to have resurfaced. But what exactly did that investigation uncover? Stay with us as we unravel the astonishing claims tied to Meghan's pregnancies and the revelations that allegedly sent shockwaves through the public. Why would William demand a DNA test connected to Meghan's pregnancy? Reports suggest Prince William ordered genetic testing concerning Prince Harry's children, Archie and Lilibet, amid long-circulating paternity rumors. While no official confirmation has come from William himself, supporters argue that if the claims are accurate, such a move could finally address the enduring surrogacy speculation surrounding Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. But where did this storm truly begin? Keep watching, because the deeper story behind Meghan Markle's pregnancy is more complicated than anyone expected. The controversy surrounding Meghan Markle's pregnancies can be traced back to 2019, in the tense weeks before the birth of her first child, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. At first, the murmurs were faint. They existed mostly within niche blogs, royal discussion boards, and social media accounts that monitored every detail of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But when Archie was born in May 2019, those quiet suspicions intensified, transforming into one of the most relentless controversies ever attached to the couple. Unlike generations of royal tradition, Meghan and Harry chose not to appear outside the hospital presenting their newborn to the world. For decades, royal mothers had stepped forward within hours of giving birth. Princess Diana did it. Kate Middleton did it 3 separate times. Meghan and Harry declined. They cited privacy. Critics saw something else. That decision ignited the first wave of doubt. Then confusion followed. Buckingham Palace initially informed reporters that Meghan had gone into labor. Later, it emerged that Archie had already been born earlier than first stated. Supporters insisted the couple was simply managing overwhelming media attention. Skeptics argued the timeline made little sense. Why announce labor after the baby had arrived if everything was transparent? To some observers, the shifting narrative felt carefully constructed rather than spontaneous. Suspicion deepened. Questions multiplied when details about the birth location remained tightly controlled. It was later reported that Archie was delivered at the exclusive Portland Hospital in London, yet official documentation traditionally displayed in royal births was absent from public view. No visible medical signatures were presented in the customary fashion. Longtime royal watchers began to argue that the unusual secrecy created space for speculation to flourish. At the same time, online communities began re-examining photos and videos from Meghan's pregnancy. Frame by frame, users analyzed her appearance. Some claimed her baby bump seemed to shift size between public engagements. Others pointed to moments when it appeared positioned unusually high or unexpectedly low. It was during this frenzy that the phrase moon bump gained traction, a term conspiracy theorists used to suggest the presence of a prosthetic pregnancy belly. There was no verified evidence, but the theory spread rapidly across gossip sites and social platforms. As weeks turned into months, speculation hardened into open accusations voiced by certain public figures. Among the most outspoken was Lady Colin Campbell, royal author and commentator. She repeatedly challenged the official account and insisted there should be transparency regarding whether Meghan had personally given birth. Campbell argued that if surrogacy had been involved, it could raise constitutional questions under royal succession rules, which historically require heirs to be born of the body. Her comments circulated widely, fueling heated debate across media outlets. But the controversy did not stop there. Members of Meghan's estranged family stepped into the spotlight as well. Her half-sister, Samantha Markle, began adding her own claims and criticisms to the already volatile conversation, intensifying a saga that showed no sign of fading into silence.
She'll do this to our family, she'll do this to yours. I love her, she's my sister, but humanitarians and diplomats don't behave like this.
She appeared in multiple interviews suggesting she believed surrogacy could have been involved. Samantha referenced conversations she claimed their father, Thomas Markle, once had about Meghan freezing her eggs years before meeting Harry. No documents were presented, no witnesses confirmed the story, yet the remarks exploded across tabloids in both the United Kingdom and the United States. Because the allegations came from within Meghan's own family, they carried a weight that random internet rumors never could. Even people who had ignored earlier speculation began paying attention. By late 2019 and into 2020, social media transformed into the engine fueling the fire. Entire accounts emerged solely to dissect Meghan's pregnancy photographs frame by frame. Some users insisted certain videos showed her baby bump collapsing slightly as she sat. Others claimed her posture and flexibility did not resemble someone in the final months of pregnancy. A few bloggers vaguely cited unnamed medical professionals who allegedly questioned her physical movements, though no verified experts ever publicly attached their names to those claims. There was still no solid proof. But repetition has power. And the louder the theory echoed, the more believable it seemed to some audiences. Then came early 2020. Prince Harry and Meghan stepped back from their senior royal roles and relocated to North America. The dramatic exit, widely branded as Megxit, intensified suspicion among critics who already believed the couple had defied royal expectations. To those skeptics, leaving Britain appeared less like independence and more like escape. Years later, when Harry released his memoir, Spare, readers scrutinized his description of Archie's birth. Particular attention centered on how quickly they reportedly returned home after delivery. Online commentators argued the timeline sounded unusually swift for a first-time birth. Others countered that childbirth experiences differed dramatically from person to person. Still, debate raged. In 2021, when the couple announced the arrival of their daughter, Lilibet Diana, born in California, the controversy reignited instantly. This time the birth occurred outside the British royal system entirely, in the United States. Even fewer public details were released, and that absence of information became fertile ground for renewed suspicion. From there, allegations escalated in intensity. Some media personalities openly demanded that Prince Harry provide definitive proof of paternity, including DNA confirmation, claiming such evidence would permanently silence critics. These calls did not originate from any official authority, but gained momentum through talk shows, podcasts, and viral clips. The controversy grew another layer when commentators began revisiting historic royal succession laws. For centuries, lineage within the monarchy has been governed by strict principles. Traditionally, heirs must be born biologically to the royal mother to secure their place in the line of succession. Critics argued that if surrogacy had ever been involved, it could potentially raise constitutional questions. By the mid-2020s, the debate followed a familiar pattern. No new evidence surfaced, yet the conversation refused to fade. Every public appearance, every interview, every shared family photograph reignited the cycle. Despite the ongoing speculation, no verified public records have substantiated surrogacy claims. Official statements have consistently maintained that Meghan gave birth to both children. Still, public opinion remains divided, unsettled, and emotionally charged. But imagine, for a moment, the stakes if surrogacy had truly been used by senior members of the royal family. What consequences could follow? To understand that possibility, we must look deeper into how paternity shapes the monarchy itself. In the British royal family, paternity is not a trivial matter. It is foundational to succession. For centuries, the legitimacy of a child's claim to the throne has depended on lawful birth within a recognized marriage. Historically, unauthorized marriages could be declared invalid, and any children born from them excluded from inheritance. The Royal Marriages Act of 1772 was designed precisely to safeguard the monarchy's structure. Under that law, if the reigning monarch did not consent to a royal marriage, it could be treated as void, and offspring from that union deemed illegitimate. Although the act was replaced in 2013 by the Succession to the Crown Act, which modernized certain marriage rules, the central principle endured. Only children born within officially recognized unions are typically entitled to stand in the line of succession. Because of these long-standing traditions, questions surrounding paternity carry profound implications. In today's world, DNA testing is accessible and highly reliable. Doubts that might have lingered unchallenged centuries ago could now trigger legal examinations and intense public scrutiny. People demand certainty regarding biological descent because lineage determines titles, status, and constitutional order. The monarchy has never historically relied on scientific testing to confirm royal parentage. But as modern society grows increasingly informed about genetics and identity, curiosity surrounding biological truth has intensified. The concept of paternity fraud, where a presumed father is not the biological parent, is particularly explosive within a hereditary system. If uncertainty were ever raised about a child's direct connection to the royal bloodline, it could provoke challenges regarding their rightful place in succession. While contemporary laws ensure equal rights for sons and daughters alike, one rule remains unwavering at its core. The child must be legitimately born of the recognized royal union. The monarchy's future has always rested on one uncompromising principle: legitimate, direct bloodline. Succession is not symbolic, it is biological, documented, undeniable. And this is where surrogacy introduces complexity. Using a surrogate does not automatically mean deception. A child can still be genetically connected to both parents. Yet the method of birth raises deeper questions about transparency, tradition, and whether modern reproductive choices align with centuries of royal expectation. Historically, there is no verified record of senior British royals using surrogacy in a way that altered succession. In fact, surrogacy is either extraordinarily rare or entirely absent from documented royal history. What history does reveal, however, is a long list of monarchs who fathered children outside marriage. Henry I, who ruled from 1100 to 1135, is believed to have had around 25 illegitimate children. They were acknowledged socially, but none could inherit the throne. Centuries later, Charles II, reigning from 1660 to 1685, fathered at least 14 children with various mistresses. Despite public recognition, none were considered heirs. William IV, who ruled from 1830 to 1837, had 10 children with his longtime companion, Dorothea Jordan. They were accepted in society, yet legally barred from succession. The distinction was always clear: recognition did not equal legitimacy. There were also royal marriages deemed invalid due to lack of approval. In 1793, Prince Augustus, Duke of Sussex, married Lady Augusta Murray without the monarch's consent. The union was declared void under the law, and their children were rendered ineligible to inherit. These cases were not modern examples of paternity fraud, deliberate deception about fatherhood, but they illustrate how uncompromising the monarchy has historically been regarding lawful lineage. Uncertain descent has never been a trivial matter. Titles, inheritance, and even national stability have hinged upon it. Across European history, wars erupted because rival factions disputed who the rightful heir truly was. Ambiguity led to bloodshed. Over generations, the monarchy tightened succession laws precisely to prevent such chaos. Clear birth, clear bloodline, clear legitimacy, those became non-negotiable pillars. Now fast forward to recent years. Rumors surrounding Harry and Meghan have circulated widely, particularly online and within tabloid culture. Some commentators have alleged that Meghan and Harry used a surrogate for their children: Archie, born May 2019, and Lilibet, born June 2021. Certain voices argued that if true, such a revelation could influence the children's standing in the line of succession. These claims gained amplification through figures such as Lady Colin Campbell, who publicly questioned aspects of the births. Yet no official confirmation of surrogacy has ever come from Buckingham Palace, Prince Harry, or Meghan. Independent fact-checking organizations have labeled the rumors false. For example, a fabricated Kensington Palace social media post referencing a surrogate birth was debunked. Verified news coverage of Archie and Lilibet's arrivals made no mention of surrogacy. Still, the persistence of the conversation reveals something deeper: public sensitivity about legitimacy. Questions of paternity and succession remain magnetic. If a royal child were ever confirmed to have been born via surrogate, the legal implications would depend entirely on current legislation. Under modern law, succession is determined by recognized biological descent, not by the physical method of birth. If a child is genetically linked to a royal parent and meets religious and marital requirements, their position in the line of succession stands protected. Surrogacy alone does not automatically strip those rights. However, perception is powerful. Among traditionalists, clearly defined bloodlines carry almost sacred weight. In such circumstances, public reaction could include demands for greater transparency from the royal household. Lawmakers might even revisit whether existing succession laws adequately address modern reproductive technologies. The broader debate would not simply be legal, it would be philosophical. What does legitimacy mean in a 21st century monarchy? While a formal legal challenge to a child's status would face enormous obstacles under current law, reputational consequences could still be profound. Even unproven allegations can reshape public opinion, ignite media scrutiny, and strain both private family relationships and public trust. And yet, despite years of repetition, the claims surrounding Harry and Meghan largely appear unsupported by verifiable evidence. There are contextual facts and documented timelines that significantly challenge the most dramatic allegations. So, what are those facts? What does the record actually show? To understand the truth behind the pregnancy rumors, you have to rewind to the beginning. The surrogacy narrative did not emerge from medical documentation or official disclosures. It evolved gradually, fueled by skepticism, internet speculation, and comparisons between Meghan's pregnancies and earlier royal traditions. When Meghan's first pregnancy was announced in October 2018, the news was reportedly shared privately with members of the royal family during Princess Eugenie's wedding. Prince Harry later confirmed this detail in his memoir, Spare, explaining that they revealed the pregnancy to relatives at that event. This establishes that the pregnancy was known within the royal circle months before Archie's birth, not introduced suddenly after the fact. Archie Harrison was born on May 6, 2019 in London. Shortly afterward, Prince Harry delivered a televised statement, visibly emotional, describing the experience as amazing and expressing how incredibly proud he was of his wife. The couple presented their newborn to the world 2 days later at Windsor Castle, choosing an intimate reveal instead of the iconic hospital steps photo opportunity that had defined earlier royal births. That single departure from tradition ignited one of the earliest waves of conspiracy. Privacy, for some observers, translated into secrecy. And secrecy, in the age of social media, quickly mutates into suspicion. Yet Harry's own account of Archie's birth directly challenges the idea that Meghan was absent from the experience. In his memoir, he describes a nurse placing the newborn gently onto Meghan's chest moments after delivery, both parents overcome with tears at the sight of their son. He details the exhausting rhythm of labor, Meghan bouncing on an exercise ball, using pain medication, doctors eventually administering an epidural as contractions intensified. These are not vague summaries. They are intimate, unpolished memories, the kind shared by someone standing in the delivery room, not someone relaying secondhand information. Harry even confessed to accidentally inhaling some of the nitrous oxide intended for Meghan, joking about trying to steady his nerves as labor progressed. The anecdote is awkward, human, almost embarrassingly ordinary. Hardly the tone of a carefully scripted cover story. Medical specifics further ground the narrative. Archie's birth is consistently described as taking place at Portland Hospital in London, with clinicians present and procedures documented. A named hospital, attending staff, a timeline. These elements align with a conventional hospital delivery, not a concealed surrogacy arrangement unfolding in secrecy. 2 years later, history seemed to repeat itself. In June 2021, their daughter Lilibet Diana was born at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in California after the couple had relocated to the United States. Once again, Harry offered vivid detail. He wrote about standing beside the doctor as the baby crowned, about a suspended moment of fear when he thought she wasn't breathing, about the overwhelming relief when she cried. 2 separate births. 2 detailed, first-hand accounts. The consistency weakens the theory that both pregnancies were fabricated. Meghan, for her part, did not retreat into silence. She spoke candidly about the physical realities of pregnancy, including gaining roughly 65 pounds during each term and navigating relentless public scrutiny while expecting. These are deeply personal admissions involving bodily change, disclosures that would be unusual, even risky if someone were attempting to sustain an elaborate deception. Still, proponents of the surrogacy narrative rarely focus on medical inconsistencies. Instead, they fixate on departures from royal custom. Archie's birth announcement lacked the rigid choreography seen in previous generations. The couple guarded certain details. That absence of spectacle became fertile ground for doubt. But absence of tradition is not proof of substitution. A significant portion of the surrogacy narrative originated not in mainstream journalism, but within online conspiracy communities. Names frequently linked to the early spread include Suddy Quinlan and Kazare Connolly, known online as Murky Meg, along with Natasha Cannell. Within a private group on the platform MeWe, they circulated edited images and speculative commentary about Meghan's pregnancy. From there, the claims migrated outward, to Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, amplified by algorithms hungry for outrage.
Photos were dissected.
Images were altered. Assertions were repeated until they appeared credible through sheer volume. Central to this online momentum was Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister. Samantha publicly suggested that surrogacy may have been involved, referencing alleged comments from their father, Thomas Markle, about Meghan retrieving frozen eggs prior to Archie's birth. No documentation accompanied the claim. Yet the insinuation traveled widely. Samantha questioned the way the couple announced and introduced their child, framing those decisions as suspicious. She went further, asserting that Archie and Lilibet should be removed from the line of succession because, in her view, they did not belong there, a statement that presupposed surrogacy despite a lack of verified evidence. Another prominent voice in tabloid discussions has been Lady Colin Campbell, a British royal commentator known for sharp criticism. Though she has not produced medical documentation, she has repeatedly called for transparency, describing the situation as questionable and urging clarification about the births. Media outlets have often highlighted her remarks, positioning her as a leading skeptic despite the absence of substantiated proof. In American commentary circles, Meghan Kelly has also contributed to the broader atmosphere in which rumors resurface. While she has not outright declared that Meghan used a surrogate, she publicly criticized a lighthearted hospital room video of Meghan dancing shortly before Lilibet's birth, labeling it strange and referencing online conspiracy theories suggesting the pregnancy was fabricated. Broadcast to a large audience, such commentary can blur the line between skepticism and suggestion, encouraging viewers to revisit fringe theories rather than dismiss them. Beyond these voices, some online claims have drifted into extreme speculation, alleging hysterectomies without evidence or arguing that posture and wardrobe choices somehow prove the absence of pregnancy. None of the frequently cited figures, Quinlan, Connolly, Cannell, Samantha, or Thomas Markle, Lady Colin Campbell, or commentators like Meghan Kelly, have presented medically verifiable documentation supporting surrogacy allegations. The cumulative effect of this relentless scrutiny has not gone unnoticed. Prince Harry has stated that he believes Meghan faces a level of invasive speculation reminiscent of what his mother endured decades earlier. In Princess Diana's case, however, the controversy centered on whether Prince Charles was truly Harry's biological father, not on questions of surrogacy. And that chapter of royal rumor carries its own explosive history. During her marriage to Prince Charles, Princess Diana was widely reported to have formed close relationships with other men. Those reports eventually fueled speculation about Prince Harry's paternity, with some questioning whether Charles was his biological father. The parallels are striking: a royal child, a media storm, and a narrative driven as much by perception as by proof. From the beginning, the marriage between Diana and Charles was strained, and isolation within palace walls pushed her to seek comfort elsewhere. One of the earliest names linked to her was Barry Manicky, a Metropolitan Police officer assigned to her protection detail in the early 1980s. Contrary to some exaggerated rumors, he was neither mentor nor instructor. He was responsible for her safety. Yet Diana grew emotionally close to him. According to friends and later biographers, she confided in Manicky during some of her most painful marital moments, describing him as a source of understanding she struggled to find at home. There has never been concrete evidence that their relationship became physical. Still, the intensity of their bond raised eyebrows within royal circles. Manicky was eventually reassigned amid concerns about professional boundaries, a decision that only deepened speculation. To the public, reassignment looked like confirmation. And in the world of royal rumor, perception often moves faster than proof. Following that chapter, Diana was linked in the late 1980s to Oliver Hoare, an art dealer who reportedly became a trusted companion as her separation from Charles approached. Their connection was portrayed as intellectual and emotional, a refuge during turbulent times. Though gossip columns hinted at intimacy, no verified evidence confirmed a sexual affair. Nevertheless, Diana's global visibility meant every friendship became headline material. Any man who offered her comfort risked being cast as something more. Then came Dr. Hasnat Khan, the respected Pakistani heart surgeon Diana met in 1995. Unlike earlier whispers, this relationship was widely acknowledged by those close to her. Friends described her as deeply in love, viewing Khan as one of the most serious partners of her later years. Their romance was discreet but genuine. Even so, it held no relevance to the persistent questions surrounding Prince Harry's paternity. The speculation intensified, however, with the name James Hewitt. A British Army officer in the Household Cavalry, Hewitt met Diana in the mid-1980s. Their relationship evolved into a documented affair lasting several years, later confirmed through interviews Hewitt himself gave. Unlike previous associations, this one was openly acknowledged. And from that acknowledgement emerged one of the most enduring royal conspiracy theories. Observers pointed to superficial similarities, most notably Harry's red hair, suggesting a resemblance to Hewitt rather than Prince Charles. Tabloid culture amplified the narrative. Some conspiracy circles even alleged efforts by the royal institution to bury details of Diana's personal life, though no credible evidence supports such claims. But chronology dismantles the theory. Prince Harry was born in September 1984. Diana's confirmed romantic involvement with Hewitt began in 1986, well after Harry's birth. Even if they had crossed paths earlier in social settings, reliable sources maintain the affair started long after Harry had already been conceived. The timeline alone invalidates the claim. Genetics provides further clarity. The Spencer family line, Diana's ancestry, carries the red hair gene. Diana herself had auburn undertones, and other Spencer relatives display red hair. Harry's coloring fits comfortably within that genetic inheritance. Traits such as eye color and facial structure result from complex combinations of genes and can vary significantly between parent and child. Differences in appearance between Harry and Charles are neither extraordinary nor suspicious. When timeline and biology intersect, the conclusion is straightforward. There is no factual basis for the claim that James Hewitt, or any other man, fathered Prince Harry. The narrative endured largely because Diana's life was already wrapped in public tragedy and intrigue. Her death in 1997 added another layer of emotional intensity. In the aftermath, conspiracy theories multiplied, some attempting to connect her past relationships to dramatic or sinister interpretations of events. These stories remain unsupported, yet they continue to captivate audiences drawn to unresolved mystery. In reality, Harry's birth, his physical features, and documented history align seamlessly with his parents' lineage. Diana's emotional closeness to Barry Manicky, her companionship with Oliver Hoare, her love for Esnat Khan, and her later affair with James Hewitt all occurred after Harry's conception or bore no biological relevance. Emotional complexity does not rewrite biological fact. Prince Charles is Harry's father. It is this history of rumor and relentless scrutiny that Harry has referenced when comparing Meghan's experience to that of his mother. He has suggested that the intense speculation surrounding Meghan mirrors the invasive narratives that once surrounded Diana. In his view, the absence of firm institutional defense for his wife echoes what he believes his mother endured decades ago. Now the spotlight has shifted to a new generation. Do you believe the claims that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry used a surrogate hold any truth? Share your perspective in the comments below. If you found this breakdown compelling, like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into royal controversies. And don't miss the next video appearing on your screen. The story only gets deeper from here.